Yo, what's up everybody? Holding Nice with you here, bringing you Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon anime review, season 2, episode 4, titled Conversation and Gathering. This was a very build-up episode. It was hype. It was kind of hype as well. We have Lily in jail, being held hostage in our own home, or ex-home, I should say. And we have Zenus there, and he's like, we're going to use you to make money until you pay us back if you want to leave the house. And he also upset at her because she promised to be loyal to the house just so he can bring her back and she can beg her God to take her out. And he was kind of upset because that wasn't their deal. But he was like, doesn't matter, you're here anyway and you can't escape us. And then she's being locked up in the house until she decides to be a good girl, as they call it, and obey. We get to see Hestia and what she's planning. And she skips like the first 2 days meeting of the War God games where they're supposed to meet and talk about it. But she skips out because she's plotting a routine escape to break in to the summer house where they're holding Lilith to break her out. And she's plotting that with Wolf, Makato, the big guy, and the other ninja chick from the same family as Mikato. And we also have Naza, she's there. And she's from the Mia family, or Mikok family. And as they proceed in that, we get the next day, and as you see in my thumbnail, this is when Hestia, on the third and final day, she actually gets to come to the gods meeting to discuss the battle, the war game that's going to be held. And she states, because I only have one family member, why don't we make this battle one-on-one? And Apollo was like, nah, I'm not having that. You're just lazy. That's the only reason why you have one. And it's going to be your family versus mine. If I win, I get Belle. If you win, you can have anything you want from me. And everyone's laughing at her. And it looks like Hope is like not in her favor until Best yeah, I guess she's one of my top favorites. Best girl number 2 comes in, Freya. And she was like, oh, why don't you allow them to get help? And he was against the idea, and then she just kept on like poking at him, at Apollo, saying, oh, are you that scared of her having help? You think her having a couple of extra helpers from other families gonna damage your reputation and tilt the scale of the battle? And he got kind of like furious for Freya, so he kind of gave up, and he was like, fine, I will allow Hestia to get help from other families, but these are the conditions that of the people that want to help Belle have to meet. Now, we don't get to meet what those conditions are, but later on in the episode we get a couple of people picked out because they meet those criteria, supposedly. But as this happens, when they get out late at night, they finally go to the Summer family house to break out Lilith, and there's a big battle. And as the battle continues, we have Zenus in the cage saying, we're going to abuse you and do things that we used to do to you in the past. And it sounded kind of, I guess, sexual, what he was saying to her. I'm not sure if they have abused her that way before. Maybe that's just my misunderstanding of it, who knows. But she starts to freak out, and she starts to bang her head against the cage so she can bleed and feel the pain, so she won't be hypnotized into this state. And as he leaves walking away, the guard is like, you know what, I'm tired of that guy. And he throws the keys in. And she asks, why are you doing this? And he was like, I just don't like the guy. Do whatever you want and just leave. So she breaks herself out, and that's when she notices the fight between Hestia and her friends trying to get her. And Hestia tells her, you know, we're here to save you. She's like, y'all need to save me, just leave. I don't want you to get hurt. And she's like, Belle would never be able to focus if you're not safe. You think just because you left to help us that that's helping us? That's not helping out, Belle. He's still worried about you. We both need you. And her hearing this from Hestia, she starts to like feel bad about herself and starts to cry, and she's like, why do you need a useless rat like me? I'm nothing but trash. And she starts to be back to the old Lilith that she was, thinking bad about herself. So she runs up to Summer, her god, and she's basically asks him to, you know, stop the fighting and please, you know, just stop it. And he was like, here, drink this. If you drink this and you can still speak to me and say the same words again, then I'll help. And what she drank was the divine liquor that everyone's addicted to, which is like a drug, a god drug, I guess you can say. She drank it and she went into like a hallucinous state, or dream state, I guess you can say, and she was hallucination and stuff. And as that was going on, he looked at her and was like, failure, and he just walks away. But then a couple of seconds passes and she thinks of Belle, and she gets up from the hallucination. It's like, and she asks him again, can you please help and stop the fighting? And he was so impressed that she was actually able to get up that he took a bottle of that wine and he threw it in the battlefield. And everybody paused and looked up, and he was like, stop the fighting. Then Zenas got upset, and he came back and he went upstairs and was like, why are you stopping this fighting? Why are you listening to this rat's words? And stuff like that. But Wolf came in with his big blade and hit him in the face to knock him unconscious. So that was the end of him. I was getting tired of hearing that guy and seeing him. But they were able to succeed, and they rescued Lily. But here's the intriguing part. Later on in the episode, something weird happens, and Lilith basically asked Sama for one last favor. And she took off her shirt and we saw her back. And he put like special markings on her tattoo. Cause you know everyone got the markings of their status and stuff in their back of the back with the crest and the stuff in the stats for you to read. Everyone has that in their back. All the adventurers. This in a god house anyway. And he does something that it starts to glow. But then we see Hestia comes in the room, and she echoes a piece of her blood into the picture, and the status in the house thing changes completely. So I'm not sure, but I'm wondering, cause I don't read the light novel or the manga, but I'm wondering, did Lilith just change houses? Is she in the Hestia house now? Cause that's what I take it as. I don't know if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just tripping and I'm overhyping things. But that's what it looked like to me. It looked like Hestia overwrite what Sama had put on her back to her own status. Or is she part of both houses now? If that's capable. I'm not sure if people can be part of multiple houses or not. But, or if they can even switch houses like she did. I mean, I understand that if it's through marriage, you can switch houses. But other than that, you really shouldn't be able to. But it's just weird. I'm not sure. Like, if anyone can explain that to me, please let me know down below. Did Lilith change house? She's no longer in the Sama house, and now she's in the Hestia household. But as that happens, we get the ending scene, and we get to see that a couple of people are being recruited to help Belle and Hestia. We have Makato from the Takamatsuchi clan, and she asked her guy for permission, and he says yes. And it's funny because he was worried about asking someone from his house to help, but he didn't know who to go to and that he had the right to ask. And the instant he thought of this to himself, Mikato was the one who came up and asked. So that was kind of cool. Then from Michi's house, we have Naza, the beast girl with the arrow. Then Wolf, he asks his guy for permission, and she was kind of hesitant at first, but she eventually gave in. Then we have Hermes. He's asking for Ryu to help. Now Ryu would be a really great help because she's a high-level adventurer, and she's an elf at that, high elf. So if he can get her on the team, that'll be a really, really big win. And the last member, of course, Lilith herself. Now, these are the members that we know are going to help. I'm not sure if there's going to be any extras. We'll have to wait until next episode. But this was a very intriguing episode, very hype. We did get an ending scene of Belle training with Ainz and one of the sisters. So he's hardcore training with them. So that's pretty cool. We get to see Ainz. She basically tells them when people are at their weakest point, that's usually when they get stronger and more attentive. Remember that, and remember never to let your guard down, and never go straight for the kill, because sometimes you leave yourself open, and something along the lines of that. So that was a pretty cool speech that she gave Belle. But yeah, that was pretty much the episode. It was a build-up episode, but it was really hype, and really well done did. And I love how Freya was like, I want to crush Apollo eventually, but this game might give me the opportunity to crush him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Freya sneaked one of her men in the game to help or sabotage so it can help out Belle, because she seems to be infatuated with Belle as well. So and I don't know why all the gods are like super infatuated with Belle. That needs to be explained. Maybe it's because he's the grandson of Zeus, and Zeus is the strongest one. Maybe it's that, who knows. But yeah, this was episode 4, guys, of season 2 Danmachi, for short for Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? But this was a really great episode, really great stuff. But let me know down below what you like and didn't like about the episode. How do you feel about all the people I just mentioned that's going to help Belle? And who else do you think is going to join Belle's team, if there's going to be any more? When it comes to the art and animation and the voice acting, I didn't get to say anything for the first 3 episodes in episode 0, but I have to say they're on point. That's one really good thing about this series. Their artwork and animation and their voice acting and the sound effects, everything is top notch. Always the best of the best. But then it is a seasonal anime, so it kind of makes sense. Seasonal anime usually have a higher budget than regular animes, so it is what it is there. But again, that's all I have for you. Peace out, have a good one.